Gagan sir, thank you for joining us, and congratulations that you've just onboarded Mr. KL Rahul, who's an international cricketer, on board as a brand ambassador for Str8bat. But before I delve more into that, let's just talk about what Str8bat is, because it's very innovative. Like, we've never heard AI bat technology. At least I personally haven't. So maybe you can talk about what does Str8bat do, and what does it stands for, and how did this vision come about?
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. Pleasure is entirely mine. And yes, it is indeed a pleasure to have someone like KL getting on board and brand ambassador and much more than that, actually. But we'll come to that in a bit, as you said. Str8bat is a deep tech company in sports, and cricket is the first use case. The vision is actually very simple: to democratize technology in sports. You know, sports has been one industry. If you look at it and you're a sports woman, you'll probably acknowledge that. बाकी सब industries आप देखो, sports थोड़ा सा पीछे रह गया है. If you look at industry benchmarks, most of the industries work with what we call in business leading indicators, right? जो इंडिकेटर हेल्प करता है कि बिजनेस आगे बढ़ रहा है नहीं बढ़ रहा है, राइट? स्पोर्ट्स में सिर्फ लैगिंग इंडिकेटर है. आपने कितने रन बनाए, हाउ मेनी रन्स यू हैव स्कोर्ड, हाउ मेनी विकेट्स यू हैव टेकन, how many goals you have made, how many aces, da da da. Right? What makes you perform consistently is art, and hence open to subjectivity. And my voice is bigger than yours, right? I was with one of the biggest sport coaches in cricket, and he said me something very nice. He said, Gagan, put these five coaches, in there and let them watch one batter playing. All five of them will have different views of how the batter is playing, right? So there was no objectivity, there was no leading indicators. And we said that how do we crack this problem? Because if you don't know your game, you cannot get better. What you can't measure, you can't improve. And we said, cricket mein this whole thing is romanticizing, let the bat do the talking, right? We say that very often. And we thought that, can we make the bat talk? Yeah, because bat has huge amount of intimate knowledge of how the player is batting. Right? Think about it. Bat knows exactly what's happening to itself, right? Can it talk to you? So what we have now is a product, which is this. It goes behind the bat like this. It's as thin as a bat sticker. See, right? All right. It's just you stick to the bat, you switch it on, right?
Amazing.
And you play with it. No change in balance of the bat, no change in the way you feel the bat, weight, and so on and so forth. And what we do very well is that we capture motion without cameras, and hence gives you insights based on that motion to the player immediately. So, obviously it's a new category, as you said. Obviously people have not played the game this way. We started this entire thing first getting the very best to believe in this. Cricket Australia became a customer. Rajasthan Royals been a customer for now what, 7 years. It's used for talent development, talent scouting. A lot of players, which Rajasthan Royals have themselves said, have been scouted, with one of the key input being the Str8bat data. And then when we launched the, if you will, consumer product, we already had case studies about how players have improved the game. Just I'll end with this, and that's probably the thing. A 4-degree change in bat lift angle, the bat lift, just a 4-degree change improved a player who's playing the premier T20 league in the world, his bat speed by 21%, impact speed by 27%. Now the question is numbers are impressive, but even the language is different. A 4-degree shift in bat lift angle improves somebody's bat speed by 21, impact speed by 27%. What you can't measure, you cannot improve. That's what Str8bat is about.
That's brilliantly put, and a brilliant idea. I want to know, how does the player know? So you stick the sticker on the bat, and obviously there's a monitor where all these stats are showing, is it? So
Awesome. How does it work?
yeah, how does this work?
I think you're asking me a far deeper question than this. How does it work? If I know, I think I know you a bit now. What's the first principle, right, of an entire product? See, आप cricket खेलते हो, you don't carry a mobile phone with you, do you? I think one place you do not want to carry a phone is in a sports ground, right? This guy, you keep playing, this guy captures more than 600 shots at one go. That's more than probably anybody who plays in one match over essential, right? You have a mobile phone with you. When you're done, it automatically syncs the data on your mobile phone. Okay? It gives you entire insights about metrics like bat speed, impact speed, timing, how will you middle the ball, where's your bat coming from, your impact point, where you're accessing the area of the field, and very importantly, a complete 360-degree view of every shot you play. We recreate the entire motion because we believe cognitive is the best way to understand your own game. Right? Numbers tell a story, but if you show them in action, motion, just. And not only that, Targa, what we do is we have a Gen AI engine based on our learnings of last 8 years working with the very best. We have created a knowledge base of hundreds of pages of biomechanics in the game. And based on your metric of your play, your shot, your match, your season, we give you personalized insights about what you're doing well, what you are benchmarked against, what you can do to improve, tips, videos of how to improve your game. So it's personalized to you based on your data. So it's just not metrics, it's actually closing the loop of what we can do to move the needle. That's how Str8bat works.
That's like again. Furthermore, I want to ask is, I mean, when when this technology was being used at grassroots level, did you see any hesitant in like the acceptance of it? Because we are so used to it, so set in our ways sometimes that anything new which comes in, it's a bit of a challenge. That, oh, are you sure it's going to be like this? Is this 100% accurate? So were those questions ever put forth to you?
First 2 years, all I did was answer those questions, quite frankly. All right. And the reason was very simple why we went there because we didn't want to go to grassroots first. We wanted to, when you're building something new, the biggest blasphemy I think anybody will make is thinking that what you're building is God's gift to mankind. When you're building something new, please be humble and see that you can make mistakes, right? And the only way you'll discover mistakes by talking to the very best. And they'll give you, where you are going right and where you're going wrong. When you're talking to the very best, they have a point of view, right? The first product which we released for commercial back in 2018, we had 2,000 players playing before, around 70 coaches giving us feedback, which actually got into this, right? And the question was very valid, that was how accurate it is. मैं कैमरा से देखूं तो कैसा होगा, right? All that is part of, and they are right in asking that question, right? Just because new technology doesn't mean that it's a hit technology, right? It has to be effective. I think after 2.5 years of being there, taking their feedback, working on it, and going back to them helped us gain their trust first. That was the first thing. But more importantly, getting, clients like Cricket Australia, Rajasthan Royals, come on, these guys are working at the very, very best at a high stake game. Obviously, the kind of scrutiny it went through, right? I mean, you can imagine, right? Almost their gold standard. So that helped us build our credibility. If they are my customers, there is something to it. And then, but having said that, till today, I get feedback from not only the best, but also an 8-year-old, 10-year-old. If you do this, it could get better. And we actually take those feedback, put that in a backlog, and see how can we do it. Because I don't think so. Str8bat will ever be a finished product. Right? There's so much more you can do. But having said that, your question, that people, was there resistance in the initial days? Yes. I'll tell you one more thing. Youngsters, they were no race. They wanted to try it. Girl cricketers, they want to try it. Right? Cricketers, they don't have access to. So tier 3, tier 4 became a big, big market for us, by the way. Big market. Around 30% of the initial thing came from tier 3, tier 4. They didn't have access to, if you will, the best in class coaches and so on. So when they thought this can probably help them understand their game better. But now we have, with our credibility, with our stories, case studies which I've talked about, that kind of help build trust that, it is something which can improve your game. And by the way, interestingly, 30% of my players are actually overage cricketers like me. Can you believe that? Right? They're playing corporate cricket, they take their game very seriously. But 30% of them actually they are, and they have no career in cricket. But they play every weekend because they want to feel good about themselves and they want to improve. They love the game. So I think there's a good demographic mix there. Yeah.
The love for cricket is way beyond anything in this country, so.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
Now let's talk about the inception of it. How did you come to think of this idea? You know what? I want to put this on this bat and then start evaluating uh, the short process. Like, see, were you a cricketer yourself?
Cricket tragic. I played at some level and then I didn't work hard enough, to play the game. Yeah, I think sometime in life you have to work harder, right? And I took, if you will, a normal route of doing engineering and so on and so forth. Was working in corporate life. I was in a beautiful company called SAP for donkey's years. The question you ask, why did you think about this? And what made you take this journey, right? I was in a decent corporate job, doing my usual jig and so on and so forth, running P&Ls. Midlife crisis, Taruka. Seriously, I'm sure you will get that in your life too. And I hope that becomes eventful, a good event in your life. Mine was a great one. I was with SAP doing good things, but you start asking your questions, like, karna kya hai? What do you want to do in life, right? It's a very unnerving question at a right time in life. And I didn't have an answer to that question, which made me very nervous. So I thought I need a more intellectually stimulating environment to, not be in a corporate rat race. I applied to an INSEAD business school. This is one of the foremost business school in the world for an executive program. Was lucky to get through one of the younger guys in that batch, if you will.
Which program, sir? What was
INSEAD business school.
Oh,
It's
of
called,
course, INSEAD. Yeah, of course, I know INSEAD.
it's the executive leadership program there. And guess what? In the blue ocean strategy discussion, Str8bat was conceptualized. Right? How do you create a category which doesn't exist to address the need of the market which is always there? Right? And obviously, sports was a big passion. I draw a lot of inspiration the way I work from sports. My lot of learnings are from sports. So sports have been a big part of me, and I was lucky enough to try it. One guy when I was dilly-dallying with this typical analysis by paralysis corporate thing, when I was getting into it, one guy told me a very interesting thing, and it was a beautiful advice. He said, "Gagan, you need to have two things to be an entrepreneur." I said, "Finally, somebody's telling me." And he said, you have to be brave. Like, obviously, I'm brave. Or who doesn't think he's brave, right? I said, 50% is not the passing mark. You need to be stupid too. You need to be brave and stupid to, be an entrepreneur because you're running against the tide, right? I think I was brave and stupid enough to let the passion build into a business, build into sports technology and into a business. So I think I'm living my dream life. So pretty cool.
No, very interesting. Very interesting. So, what's the plan now, sir? How are you planning to move forward?
So, if you remember, Taruka, I started the discussion by describing Str8bat as it's the deep tech company in sports, and cricket is the first use case. There's a reason why cricket is the first use case. One, you're brave and stupid because you're passionate about the game. Da, da, da. You're coming from India, cricket is the sport to start, right? Big market. And interestingly, if you notice, what we do, we capture motion without cameras, right? Think about cricket. It's a 360-degree play. You play a straight drive, you play a dil scoop, you play a reverse hit. We capture motion without cameras for cricket. We actually can build for any other sport. That was the starting hypothesis. Now, this is the first, so breaking at your channel. What we decided at the end of last year and beginning of this year is that can we try to really make this a platform? Yeah. So this product, what you saw behind the bat, is nothing but now the form factor is this much, right? This is the form factor. Okay. And what we did is that we built the entire hardware to software stack which caters to any sport, and we proved it with running. So this is actually, you're seeing a product which goes behind the shoes. Just put it like this,
Wow.
right? Same tech stack, if you will, just the running metrics, what makes sense for running. And it gives you your stride time, your ground contact time, your pronation, your strike patterns, all metrics which are important to prevent injury, which is the biggest pain point in running. But from you asked me what you want to do, where Str8bat is moving is becoming a digital sports motion infrastructure. Think about it. You know, so social structured identity, correct? Search structured user structured information. Cloud structured the compute because the structured compute cloud happened. AI is based on models, right? LLMs, if you so. In sports, the human motion is unstructured. If we structure it, that's where the AI can make it computable, insights can come and take the sports to a different level, right? We are in the business of structuring sports motion. Every motion has a signature, which so far has been based on your intuition, your experience, your baggage, and what you see from the two eyes. We are making that computable and becoming a sports infra so that every sport can benefit from this technology. That's the whole idea.
And a technology
Yeah.
where hardware is not required. I think that's one of its kind, I would say.
The hardware. See, right now the hardware is required, as you see probably in this, right? I mean,
Yeah,
it's
I
a
mean, but still, there's no, like, yeah, this is as simple as
it's a sticker. It's a really
light.
sticker.
Yeah, it's a sticker.
Yeah.
So I think, your company is basically, in all its sense, taking for the idea of digital India and make in India
Put it together.
absolute global with offering very one of its kind, I would say. Or I
It's a
don't
beautiful
think, is there
point.
any other organization in the world doing something similar?
There are people who have tried this in sports motion. There are a few people who've tried in golf, for example,
Mhm.
in baseball. But having a sports motion infra which can capture any motion without cameras, right from cricket, racket sports to running, I'm not aware of. All right. But having said that, and you asked me something, I don't know, inadvertently or very, very smartly without hardware. I think that's a beautiful question, Tarika, right? Uh, One technology is best, it's not visible. And that was the whole attempt. I don't know if you've seen uh, this bat, this an SG bat, right? The only thing special about this bat is a smart bat, all right? So, you can see the red light there.
Mhm.
So it's from the factory. The sticker is the smart and it comes from, right? So the entire sensor technology, the wearable is actually part of the sticker, right? And we are in collaboration with SG. They're one of the most advanced equipment brands worldwide, and these bats are being sold from the factory, right? So their best technology is best when it's not visible. But also, broadcasting is a beautiful game overall, right? And we just guess we have millions and millions and millions of sports data, motion signatures. What we're building right now is working where we take the video feed and in the future, without uh, the hardware, if you will, we'll be able to give you some of the metrics because we have millions of sort. We take the video feed, do our AI magic, and actually able to do this. So I think this whole space will grow. Uh, things like cadence, HR rate, your strike patterns, VO2 max has become a very common language, right? Same thing will happen to different sports like cricket. The bat speed, speed at impact, timing efficiency, stability index, smoothness index, all will come. And cricket will have a new language, which will be highly romanticized, but also very intellectual. This is our play.
Brilliant. And of course, the plan is to move beyond cricket, like you said, across sports. And at some point, I think straight bat will change into straight something else also. Obviously,
Yeah.
bracket, we will.
Yeah. We will
Anyway,
expand. We are big into cricket. KL coming, getting KL on board is one of the big reasons. So cricket will become a very, very important part and is the most important part. But we will move to other sports too. Yeah.
what is the other sport immediately which you plan to, apart
So
from running? Let's
is
choose
running
running.
definitely.
Okay.
Definitely, we're looking at some of the sports like running. By the way, I think we missed the thing. Putting this on shoe gives you a huge amount of use cases. Running is one of them. Think about it. It's a
First,
beautiful thing for health, especially for aged people where balance and those things are so, so critical. And gait analysis is very important. So I think it's a very, very interesting pivot into fitness and health in terms of physiology and so on and so forth. Right. So shoe become a very, very important aspect of the game. We are looking into sports like golf, which is again a different end of the segment, where if you will, you talk any golfer and they can keep talking about golf like till the cow goes dry, right? I'm sure you met so golfers. So there's a huge amount of tendency to analyze the game, right?
a
But
lot.
the important piece is that we'll be a sports infra. And think about it this. So tomorrow, if you want to build a solution like this for skiing, you will use the platform to go to market, let's say in 3 months, for the skiing solution using the platform. Idea is that one company cannot build for every sport. Build a platform and let other people capture the market for different sports. That's the whole game we are going.
Amazing. My final question to you, sir, is why, of course, as India moves forward when it comes to Make in India, Digital India, becoming Atmanirbhar, of course, and especially with founders like you in the technology space, doing so well and introducing such innovative technology, how important it is for founders yourself, to contribute to this goal of like Atmanirbhar, Make in India, and Digital India, like our PM
I think
talks about.
answer is very, 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 very important. I think it's crucial for our success for a country. Especially, and I really, really think that this has really heightened in last few months with the whole AI wave which has happened, and this wave is real. All right, I truly believe. My personal belief is that people talk about employment going down because of AI. My belief is that there'll be a huge increase in employers. People will be able to open their own companies, lean companies, doing great things, solving real problems, if you will, at scale without huge infrastructure and cost. Right? And India has its own huge sets of problems, but huge opportunities. I think one thing which I would say is that we should obviously build for India, but I really believe we have an amount of talent where we can build for the world, right? And I really think we should start thinking like that, start thinking more on platform infra, which really makes the game far more scalable. So I'm nobody to advise anyone, but as a fellow founder, I think this is a time where you have to really really double down. There's so much happening in the world of tech, which is affecting humanity, right? And I really think we have to be humble about it, take it on stride, learn, and leverage it to the very best to build solutions to the real world problems. So yes, answer is emphatic yes. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir, for taking our time to speak with us. I
My
think
pleasure.
great conversation, got to learn a lot, and I
Pleasure
really
is
wish
mine.
you all the best for your all future endeavors. Thank
Thank you.
you.
Sir. Pleasure is mine.